back to your lunchtime banter with us, the Loose Women. Still to come, hear her roars. Mel B, everybody! Oh, hello, little angel. Oh, how cute. Hello, little angel.
Say hi.
Oh, that's
girls with
lovely.
chihuahuas on.
I know. Mel, we're really looking forward to seeing you later. We'll be seeing Mel B in part 4. But first, it is slap on the wrist time, as it seems that many of us are careless with our cash. It's been reported that mobile phone users are wasting an average of £195 a year each because they're on the wrong contract. In fact, 76% of those on monthly deals are paying over the odds after wrongly estimating how many minutes and text messages that they use. So is it a case of tighten your belt, or do you think life's too short to count the pennies?
Well, this is the tricky thing, isn't it? You don't know how long you're going to live, so it's very difficult to budget. Because if I knew that I was going to peg out at 70, I could sit down there with a pen and paper and do some sums and think, right, that's so many pairs of shoes a year until I peg out. But I really have no idea. And I'm in a really horrible business for, you know, financial security. And I've had some ups, and I've had some downs. I really, really have, and I've really had to... But I'm quite good because I've got a little bit of northern in me. Right. So I can do a bit of extravagance up to a point, but I can never go too extravagant because of the northernness. And then I like a bit of penny pinching. I like going through my dented tin phase. I can get off on that.
What's your dented tin phase?
Well, just sort of, you know, how low can you go? How little can you spend? And just, you know, how many baked potatoes can you eat in a week?
Yeah.
How far can you stretch that mince? You know, another tin of tomatoes in that mince. Come on.
I can live on nothing. I can do... I'm much better if someone said to me, right, you've got no money at all, you have to live on absolutely nothing, I'd be fine. It's if you say to me, I've got £75 to spend and I've got to make it last till next Wednesday, I will buy a pair of shoes the next day for £74.99. So I'm better not having any money to budget at all. And I think it's because Paul's really good. I'm really lucky that he deals with the bills and stuff like that. You know, I was working as a kid and I earned my own money, and I had this kind of what I spend, God will send attitude, and it hasn't really sort of left me.
No. I tell you what, that phone bill thing, I have, for the last week, that's all I've moaned about. I said to Andrew, I said, how much are your bills a month? I am paying a fortune a month, and I don't know why, because it's supposed to be... No, but I've got talk time. It's supposed to be talk time. It's supposed to be free text.
It's very expensive to make calls from a boat.
Foreign stuff.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it that why? Is that why, then?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. It's a fortune, I tell you. I'm not doing it anymore.
But are you one of these people that you look up tariffs and look up...
No, I just pay it and then moan, and then pay it and moan and moan.
Actually, if you're on a cruise, how do they charge it? Because you're in the middle of everywhere.
Well, because then it's £2. I know it's £2 a text. £2.
What?
Yeah, if you use the ship's satellite. So I know it is very expensive, but I didn't use it. But even when I'm not abroad,
I'd stay at home and train a pigeon. That's what you should do.
Get a chihuahua.
But you know what? It is hard to do. I went on tour with actors are quite good at it, I think. You know, when you're on a low budget, and I'd go out for dinner with this guy, and we'd get the bill. All of a sudden, he'd be in his back pocket, little notepad. £3.95. 35p for a newspaper. It's not attractive, is it?
No, nothing worse than a mean
I'd rather
man.
be in debt than do that, I think.
I mean, I'm not very good, I must admit. I just don't open the envelopes when they come in until it gets like a Dr. Seuss Cat in the Hat type of pile, and then normally, you know, and then give them to Steve. No, I'm a bit like Denise.
I'm just so scared of making a mistake. I must say I've got better since I've had a child, because you have to buy food and things for them.
They keep eating.
I do begrudge it. I know.
They keep eating. It's really annoying.
My theory is if they don't eat, they won't grow, so you don't need new clothes or anything. Don't feed them.
That's nice.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. No, don't try that at home. Mince some potatoes. Make it last an awful long time.
Hot noodles.
Oh. Now...
vitamin pills.
Exactly. Now, thrifty or not, if you like the thought of getting out your suitcase, stuffing it full of a new wardrobe and jaunting off in your jollies, listen up, as we are giving away a whopping £25,000 in cash. For your chance to get your mitts on the moolah, answer the following question correctly. Who starred as Maria in the 1965 film The Sound of Music? Was it A, Julie Andrews, B, Julie Goodyear, or C, Julie Christie? Call 09012 931 941. Calls cost no more than £1.03 from BT landlines. Calls from other networks may be higher, and from mobiles will be considerably more. Text your answer, A, B or C, to 63303. Text costs £1 plus one standard network rate message. Red Button viewers can enter by pressing their red button now or enter for free at itv.com. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 11 a.m. on Monday the 25th of April. And entries made after this time will be counted but may still be charged. And the best of luck. Now, in a revealing interview with Oprah Winfrey, Hollywood legend Shirley MacLaine, no relation, confessed to multiple naughty antics, including countless love affairs, an open relationship with her husband, and one day, which resulted in her having sex with 3 different men.
Well, if you could do that with your leg, you would, wouldn't you?
What, have sex with 3 different men?
Good job she didn't have a ladder in those tights, really, isn't it?
But what do you think when you hear about, you know, that sort of stuff? Do you think other people's sex exploits just don't make you feel inadequate?
But with Shirley MacLaine, you wonder whether, because she was in all those films with the choreographer Bob Fosse, you wonder whether she did it with jazz hands and a bowler hat on, you know. Yeah, choreographed threesomes.
Does that make it all right?
Well, it makes it a little bit more interesting. I mean, I find other people's sex exploits rather dull. You know, Sting and Trudy, they're another couple. You know, you think, oh, she must be like leather from the waist down. I'm not that fussed.
Not that bothered?
I'm not that bothered, no.
I got in trouble at the weekend, actually. As I said, I was away, and my friend Anne-Marie's... she's slightly different to me. And,
in what ways, though?
Well, she's quite posh, but she's not as gobby and, you know, brummy.
Classy.
Classy. That's the word we're looking for. Thanks, Jenny. Thanks very much, love. And we were just talking about stuff and men and things, and I told her something that she couldn't get out of her head for 2 days. She was like, I'm seeing things I don't want to see. I'm visualising things I don't want to visualise, size and lengths and things. And I didn't need to know that. And then what I do, I tend to forget that people aren't all like me. We talk about sex very openly, don't we? Because, you know, that's the way the show is sometimes. That's the way we are.
I don't, really.
You do?
No, I get a bit embarrassed about it.
Do you?
Well, because everyone seems to be doing it more.
What do you mean? Who?
People are obsessed with numbers and amounts of times a day, a week, a month, and I never, ever think... I always go, oh, I do, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. And I'm like, that's just not my life at all.
But what do you feel when other people talk like that? Does it make you feel inferior?
Well,
or?
I've got to a point where I've started kind of stopped comparing myself, because I think, you know, if there's a lack of intimacy and there are problems in that area in your relationship, you know. And I think if you keep comparing yourself to other people, it's going to drive you nuts. And
I also think as well that people lie.
Of course they do.
You know, they just make it up in
When
the
they
same
say
way that
they're
I used to go
Yeah.
clubbing and think, isn't it lovely? Everyone's drinking water, and I had no idea what was going on. And just because you don't talk about it doesn't mean that you're not doing it. And just because you're talking all the time.
I would rather talk about it. I'd rather have a good chin wag.
Do you know what's really funny is apparently because obviously Shirley MacLaine was talking about her past, not necessarily talking about now. And
That's a relief.
I know.
She's really 76.
Apparently she said
25 pasts, though, because she's been like Elizabeth I. It's like that, hasn't she, in past lives?
No, but apparently she says now she'd rather have a good, funny, loyal dog than a man, and now lives alone with her dog. Oh. Isn't that lovely?
She's done it all. She's knackered.
Well, I do have a theory about that. I think that women do have only so many sexual encounters in them, and once you run out of them, you can't. You have to start rationing them later on in your life, especially if you've given quite a lot of them away earlier on.
Is that like what you were talking about before? If you knew when you died, then you could start doing sums and saying, well, you can have 3 this week, but only 1 next month.
Yeah, I'd have to say to my partner, you can't have one every birthday. Because I've kind of run out.
Right, we're taking our final break, but fear not, Mel B is in the house. Before we catch up with her, take a look at which other 2 stellar stars will be joining us tomorrow.